Welcome to Rugby AM here on Free Sports, and we have two superstars in the room, and we're missing Jonesy. He's not with us. He's on a plane back from Papua New Guinea, but we've got Jared Waerea-Hargreaves and Sean Johnson.
He's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit. He's always here in spirit, is Jonesy. He's had a tough time in PNG. He said he got in a private taxi. The one thing you shouldn't do in PNG is getting a private taxi. And next week he'll be back telling us all about it. Have you been to PNG before, boys?
Never.
Never?
No.
No?
I'd like it though. Yeah, I'd like to give it a crack for sure.
Jonesy says that everyone's 4 foot tall in Papua New Guinea. So I think you'd stick out like a sore thumb there. But it's funny though, as an emerging nation, it's the only place in the world where rugby league is their national sport. Do you know that?
Yeah.
And it's great to see, obviously, the Cummels develop. And they drew the series with the England Knights, and a lot of their boys are coming over. The Boas brothers are coming over to play for Fed next year. So there's plenty of opportunity for the PNG boys to come over to the UK and play. And that's hopefully going to be mimicked with the development of a lot of nations now worldwide, because we're talking about international football today, because obviously you're over here playing the Test series. Hasn't gone to plan for you, but have you had a good time in England so far?
Had a really good time. Yeah, it's been unreal. I think, like you said, it hasn't gone to plan. Obviously, would have liked to come up here and be sitting on this couch talking about how we've just, clinched a series. But in terms of growing our group and building, for where we want to head in the next few years, it's been really good.
Obviously, the last time we saw you play over here, World Cup semi-final, step in George Burgess and scoring an unbelievable try. What have you noticed the difference between that England team and that mentality to this England team? Because it's been such a close game, both games, but England have just got over the line.
Yeah, they're definitely got a pretty tough edge about them at the moment. They're holding on to the ball and getting through their sets, which has probably been the key to the both wins that they've had.
I think what we've learnt in the last two games we've played England is they just complete and they kick the ball back to you, and that takes maturity and experience. So I think, obviously going into this week's game at Ellen Road, I think that's where we need to be at our best for sure.
We went out last night to Man's Markets, and you've got such a tight group, and there's some young boys coming through, like your son, Joey Manu. And what's it been like?
I'll take that claim.
Do we look very watching this guy?
Do we look very similar? Do we? Yeah.
Hey, that's rubbish.
I'll take that. No, yeah.
How has it been like getting the boys together and bringing some of these young boys through into the squad and like getting them under your wing?
Oh, it's awesome, Samar. I guess for a guy like myself and Sean, been in the sort of team for a few years now, and seeing these young guys come through with confidence, it gets me excited. I know, I've been rooming for the last sort of 5 weeks with Brandon Smith, and it's gotten me out of my comfort zone. He's definitely a lively character with plenty of energy, and to have all these guys back in amongst camp is really exciting.
When Sean Johnson were a young kid running around Auckland, who was your hero? Who did you look up to playing the Warriors?
Yeah, it was Stacey Jones. And it's a crazy story, because I grew up, and in New Zealand, rugby's so dominant. All Blacks, everyone knows All Blacks, but my goal was always to play for the Warriors.
Why?
I really don't know. I guess I do know. It probably was because of Stacey. I was always really small, really little, sort of the fast, nippy one, and that's what I saw in Stacey when he played. Yeah. He sort of made the little guy sort of believe a little bit, what I mean? And I remember my dad saying, look how little Stacey is, so, you don't worry. And I remember him sort of having those conversations with me, and he used to take me down to my primary school. I remember he used to go down to my primary school, and he'd stand there like a little statue, and he'd be like, all right, chip and chase, practice your chip and chase like Stacey Jones does. So I'd be running up to him trying to do these little chip and chases over him, and I'd be acting like I was Stacey. So went along to a few sort of meet and greets over the years, met him, and then now to be in the environment I'm in now, working alongside him, not just at the Warriors, but in the Kiwis as well, it's been unreal. And I know that he's had a real positive impact on the group, and just having people like that around the group. We've got Daryl Halligan there as well, Nigel Vangana, Motu Tony, boys that have all experienced that Kiwis jersey. Touching on what I sort of spoke about earlier, that's part of sort of building us in the right direction,
Jared, winning the comp, we won't go into it too much because Joey and Isaac talk about it quite a bit, but the Roosters have one of the premier teams in World Rugby, and you're part of the furniture now. Do you reckon you'll ever be bigger than Minzer? Because Minzer walks around like he floats.
He calls himself the mayor of Bondi.
He's the mayor of Bondi.
And he can have that tag. He's he's the great man. He's the greatest. So he's doing his thing and doing
What's
it well.
he doing now? What's he doing?
He's doing everything.
Is he?
I think he's obviously doing a bit of marketing, sponsorship with the club.
Right, we're going to go and we're going to ask you about your top 5 toughest opponents. But before that, we're going to speak to Isaac and Joey about their teammates, the dishing they did on the teammates. And we also caught up with Jordan Rapana last night. Firstly, did you like the food at Man's Markets? Were you happy with the food?
Off its head.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Good.
I'm pretty sure we'd probably be back there before the weekend.
Well, if you're going back, we'll look after you, not a problem. Let's go over now to Man's Markets as the boys dish the dirt and the K2 teammates. This evening we've come down to Man's Markets in Leeds to look after the Kiwi boys, get them a team feed and bring them all down for a bit of social time as they come to the great city of Leeds. Joey, how's the food? Have you enjoyed the food tonight?
Yeah, I loved it. I think I had some chicken and it was awesome. I had jazza and ice on my table, so I didn't really get much of it, but it was beautiful.
You're on tour, but obviously after coming off the great season with the Roosters, getting another win, obviously what it means to you guys to get that ring, and after a tough season, the tightest ever NRL season, to just get firstly the minor premiership and then get a ring.
No, mate, it was a dream come true. You know, we worked hard for it, and pre-season, the boys just worked really well, and to have a good pre-season and a good year, that was worth it.
What's it been like having Cooper Cronk? Because when he came to the club, he's moved to Sydney for his missus. Massive respect for him for putting her first after obviously she's given up so many years for his career. He's come to Sydney, and you must have been like, oh my God, how good is this? What a player to sign for the club.
Yeah, definitely, man, huge. You know, and when we heard about him coming over to the club, it was the boys were pretty excited. Not only the boys, but for the club. Like Joey said, his experience and the way he plays, and not just that, but as a man, he's wonderful. He's a good guy, and to hang around and have at the club too.
Lastly, boys, one of my big friends is heading over to the Roosters, Ryan Hall. He's a huge human, and he's got some huge boots to fill in obviously Fergo's boots. Are you looking forward to having Hall as part of your team, Joey?
Yeah, I've obviously watched him from a distance and seen how he's going in international rugby league, but unfortunately he had that injury, that ACL, so it'll be a bit hard, but I'm looking forward to making a new bond and trying to get some new combos going on with him will be pretty cool.
The team's only going to get stronger for next year. Do you think you can retain and go back to back?
Yeah, I think we definitely can. Like Joey said, if we, especially having like a few new players there, if we can train well, have a good pre-season and get our combos together and pretty much unite as a team, I'm pretty sure we can definitely get another one there.
Right, it's time for these guys to dish the dirt on their teammates. It's time for K2 Kiwi teammates.
Isaac Lee from the Sydney Roosters, playing lock.
Yeah, Joseph Manu from the Sydney Roosters. I play centre.
Oh, that's pretty obvious here. That's
me.
Martin Tabell.
Nah.
we see him.
Nah, yeah, Marty. Yeah, I reckon Marty.
I'd say
Jordan. Bro, he only does like 2 sets of bench press in the gym and then walks out. So.
that's what you do too, boy. I would say Cody ranks himself, hey?
Yeah, Cody's pretty skillful. He thinks he's skillful
Yeah,
too.
he thinks he's skillful.
I don't know if he is, but I'll probably go Brandon or yeah, because he's funny. And he's
Are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah, I'd probably go Jared, I think. Yeah. He just doesn't stop talking.
Jared.
Jared.
Bro, he's still. Oh no, he's not.
You?
Probably Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
Shawnee, I reckon.
Sean.
Thinks he's a celebrity too. But he carries on. Who's always on the
I'll
phone?
say Isan's on that.
Yeah, Isan. I always hear him in the background when I'm playing the games.
I'll say Raptors up there.
Yeah, right. Jordan's pretty crack up, dude.
That's funny.
Brandon's pretty funny.
Brandon's pretty funny.
Adam, Larry.
Yeah, heaps of the boys pretty funny, yeah. I'll say Pet's up there.
Yeah. Pet, Kevy Proctor.
Yeah, those two.
They got
Definitely those two, bro.
They got a bit of cards going on in the back of the bus. So. Yeah, nah, there's a few of
those
them.
two, like that. Love that.
Yeah. Who is? I don't know.
Who's he for them?
I'm usually asleep before everyone else is. Probably Jazza, Jared.
Yeah, Jared's one of them.
He thinks he's pretty good too.
There's
yeah.
a few boys there that can stay up. Yeah.
Nah, he's in bed at 12 a.m. This guy.
Oh, my mind blowing.
This guy doesn't even make it out.
Yeah.
A big hello to all the people from Canberra. We've got the main man here, Jordan Rapana. How have you enjoyed the tour so far?
Yeah, look, obviously disappointing on the field, but as in terms off the field, yeah, it's been an awesome tour. I love being around the boys here, and yeah, really enjoyed it.
Mate, you've played against your teammate Elliot Whitehead. We call him Smell. I've known him for a long, long time. Real good mate of mine. He's been fantastic for Canberra. Josh Hodgson as well, and you're getting another two English lads. You're getting John Bateman and Ryan Sutton. What do you think you're getting? To all the Canberra boys back there, all the Canberra fans, what they're getting in John Bateman? You've played against him now.
Yeah, look, he's a quality player, mate. I've been fortunate enough to meet him off the field with Elliot. Real good bloke, bit loose on but you know, who isn't? So yeah, look, he'll fit in really well with the boys down there, and I'm really looking forward to hanging out with him and Ryan Sutton.
Do you reckon you're going to have the best back row in the NRL with Joey as well?
Yeah, I think we're up there. I
It's good up there.
don't want to give Elliot any credit because his head's already big enough. But yeah, look, he's a quality player, and John Bateman, and also Joe Tarpany, Josh Papali as well,
Yeah.
Sia Soliola. Yeah, we've got a really good back row. Yeah, we've got a quality forward back.
Mate, it's great to have you in Leeds. Have you enjoyed the food tonight down at Man's Markets?
Yeah, it's been awesome, mate. Awesome. You've looked after us really well, so fattening us up for the game against England, huh?
That's right, mate. Looking for a whitewash, mate. Good luck this week. Have a great week in Leeds. It's great to meet you, mate. Top man. Thank you,
No
brother.
worries, thank you.
See you, brother. Joey Manu and Isaac Lowe there talking about teammates, calling a few boys out, saying you're the fat boy. They threw it out there, mate. They threw it out there.
That's all right. I'm happy to take that.
Yeah, he's filthy about that. He's like get his kid off, and he'll be like, bro, not bad for a front row, eh? You're looking at him like that.
Come on.
I'm pretty sure he was talking to his missus the other day, and the boys were filming, and he was doing that one to her like that.
Oh, she was just saying, like, give me something. So I was like, right, you want something? I'll give it to you.
How's family life, mate? Because two girls.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Do you want a boy though?
Oh,
Pressure's on.
every male would like
Yeah.
a boy. So no pressure, babe, out there. But two little girls, 3.5 and 9 months. Yeah, fantastic. So, but hoping I can fulfil those with maybe plenty more kids in the future.
Hey?
He's up, surely.
No kids yet?
Nah, no kids, bro.
Oh, what?
Yeah, engaged though. So I
Engaged.
found the one.
You found the one?
Yeah, found the one.
How did you know she was the one? It's always a difficult question.
How did I know she was the one? Because she's taller than me.
She really?
Yeah, I'm so embarrassed. I shouldn't have said that, man. Can we leave that bit out? Yeah, my partner's taller than me, so. Nah,
By
she's.
much?
What am I? I'm 181. She's 183.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, except for I
Heels.
threw all her heels out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want some shoes, babe? Always some flats. Get us flats.
And you get heels. It works both ways.
Just wedge myself up.
You would look good in heels.
Jack.
So the one, you found the one.
Yeah.
How long do you have to wait to have kids, do you reckon? What's the-
Well, because she's got her own, so she's a professional netball player.
cool.
So it's
got her
it's
own
quite
career
good.
then?
Yeah, like we understand each
Yeah,
other,
yeah.
and she's got a few things that she's told me she really wants to go for before she wants to go down that road, and I'm saying sweet, that's cool. We've got a few things we want to do first. So Jazz has just pulled on the heartstrings a little
I
bit there,
know.
so I'm thinking.
Talk about the chain, Jazz.
Yeah.
The chain.
This little love
it's a nice
heart.
little
No.
chain.
So this chain here, I got it when I went to the war. Yeah, it was a present from my daughter. So
That's nice. Well, to go from the softest man in rugby league to the toughest, because you've come up against, in the front row, some of the toughest blokes in the sport. But who is the top five? It doesn't have to be in order, but who is the top 5 toughest players you've come up against?
coming from the Roosters, I'd have to say, playing against them when I was 19, against England, big Adrian Morley.
Mate, when he came to the
Balls.
Roosters, do you remember, obviously, as a young fellow looking at that career at the Roosters, because he walks down the road in Sydney and people are like, Mars, he's
Yeah.
loved over there.
He's the greatest. He was just with us a couple of months ago. He popped in, and to see that guy back at the club, he has left such a massive impact on that club.
Yeah.
When I first came to the club, obviously I heard so much about him, and now being at the club for some time, he definitely left a massive legacy. So I'd have to go Morley. I've had a few run-ins with Sammy Thaiday over our time.
He comes across on the field as a tough, uncompromising character, but off the field, he's into art. He writes poems.
Character.
His character. Do you see his retiring speech? Epic. So you got Thaiday, you've got Moz. Who's in the other 3 spots?
Yeah, currently I would have to go with Sammy Burgess, obviously another good true competitor.
Is he tough to play against, Sam?
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
Can you do a bit of a Sam Burgess impression?
Sammy Boyle.
Sammy boy.
Sammy Boyle. How you going, lad?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Thanks, Simo. And then I'd have to go with Russell Packer,
Yep.
another hard man.
Yep.
And then a guy that I've played with for a number of years. And thankfully I get to train and play with instead of against is the big fiery redhead Dylan Napper.
Dylan Napper. He seems to be one of these guys off field who's just Mr. Relaxed, a bit like Guerra, just chilled out, just easy going, cruisy.
Yeah, that's him. He's chilled. He's himself. You actually wouldn't pick it, until you meet him and you're like, wow, this dude is pretty cool. He's a G. So no, it's cool. It's always a pleasure playing against and playing with these guys and being a front rower. I guess that's where it's at for us.
Sean, who's like when you're looking at the fixtures and you go up against obviously other players in the league and the NRL, who's the player who is, in your opinion, the toughest to play against and the person who probably has the most impact in a game, and you look at it and you admire, but it's one of them you love to hate, if you know what I mean, a bit of a nemesis.
In our comp, I guess, there's so many, eh?
Yeah.
You can't, every team you play, you actually can't, you've got to be on, you know what I mean? And then players within that, defending on an edge, I know when Sammy Burgess was playing on an edge, he was quite, had a big impact, because, not just big, but he's got footwork too.
Yeah.
You know, and those are the sorts of players that I feel like you can get one-dimensional players that you just know you're gonna. If I get a back row coming at me and he's just going to go full tit at me, you can just throw your body in front.
Yeah.
But the ones where you got to you can't quite brace yourself, you know, they're the ones that I think can definitely really have an impact. So he's another big boy, Billy Kiko, I think he plays for the Panthers.
Mate, good player.
He is a giant, and then he's got this little left foot fend offload. He's got sort of got everything.
He just goes through, doesn't he? And
Yeah.
he seems to pick up pace.
Yeah,
as he goes.
I wouldn't say they're tough, you know, but I say they're tough players, hard players to mark.
What about halfbacks? Other halfbacks you play against? Who are the ones who you think, you know what, these guys? Which player do you think's? Well, you probably. It's weird. Is it not better than you, but is it a player you think is at your level? Who you know, if you're not on your game that day, they're going to upstage you.
I think Mitchell Pearce.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitchell Pearce. I really rate him as a halfback. And then another one too, and I hate to admit it, Jimmy Maloney. Because he's just a competitor, you know, like he's pretty rat's ass, Jimmy, but he's always in the game, you know. He's always sort of just fighting for everything. So again, we've got a lot of good halfbacks in the comp, and some good, really good up and coming ones like a Nathan Cleary in that as well. So
now tonight at the Hall of Fame dinner. So in the UK, you've got your Immortals, we've got our Hall of Fame. The best players of all time get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And tonight, 3 absolute legends. Derek Turner, who's no longer with us, who were Malcolm Rayleigh's first ever coach. Johnny Whiteley from Hull, legend of a bloke. Still going strong, Johnny. I can't wait to see him tonight and see him take his Hall of Fame medal. But for me, personally, someone who's been such a supporter of our show and genuinely one of the nicest men in the sport is Andy Gregory. A real firecracker of a halfback for Wigan in the 80s and the 90s. An unbelievable player. And he gets his Hall of Fame induction tonight. But at the same dinner, the Golden Boots will be dished out. Which one of those girls do you reckon that your money would be on for the women's Golden Boot?
I'm back in the Kiwi, Honey. Yeah, Honey, she's getting better with age, Honey. Yeah, she's a freak. She's been in the sport a long time. But
How long has she been playing for?
bro, she's been playing for ages, eh? Yeah, 10 plus years, you know, and she's honestly, she's a freak. We were with her a couple weeks back in Auckland before we played Aussie, and she's, an animal. But I know that Ellie Bringenshaw, she's a halfback, I think. She was playing for the Broncos this year, eh? She's pretty class.
They win at the Broncos.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they won it.
Even that Isabel Kelly, she played centre for the Roosters.
Yeah.
And she's a pretty handy player.
You know what's awesome? The fact that we can even sit here and talk about. You know, like, it's cool that they're getting that exposure.
So you're going Honey? Are you going Honey?
Yeah, I'm going Honey.
I'll go
You're going Izzy?
Isabel Kelly. Yeah.
You're going Izzy, you're going Honey. I'll go Georgia, keep it for Britain. Good luck, Georgia. Good luck to the girls tonight. Now, the guys, so you got Dallin, obviously your skipper. Elliot Whitehead, who's been unbelievable for England and Canberra. He's had a great season, picks up points. He's try-scoring machine in the second row. Your teammate, James Tedesco, Teddy, and then Tommy Makinson, who's just obviously scored a hat-trick against you guys this weekend. So, of the boys, who's going to win, in your opinion?
Well, I think with the Golden Boot, we've got to clear up, I guess, the criteria for it, eh? Because even as players, we don't know the criteria.
Because it's the best thing you can win, is it not?
Well, that's what they say, but
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like, if you're only playing 2 international games a year, like, say, the Aussie side has this year, it's like, well,
How do they get a fair crack at it, you know what I mean?
Teddy's won the Origin.
Yep.
He's won the comp. He's played for Australia, beat Tonga,
I
lost to
think
you
he
guys.
got the man of the match.
Man of
as
the
well.
match.
But, so does the Golden Boot cover NRL Origin?
It should, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
It should, in your opinion, it should
be round
all
up.
footy.
All footy.
All footy.
So if you're playing good footy at
Yeah,
a
it should
club
be.
and then you make your country,
Should be all round.
it should be all round. If that's what they want to put the Golden Boot as.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. If Sean Johnson says it, let's make it happen.
And then it stops any backlash as well at the same time.
Yes, love it.
2014, I won it. Warriors, we didn't even make the 8, but the Kiwis that year we were on. We were
Yeah.
hot. We won the 4 Nations, and then I won it off the back of that.
Yeah.
But it was like, hey, you had a crap year. I was like, well, I got the Golden Boot, my man, so gap it.
And I'm on contract.
So clear it up, eh?
Clear it up, that's right. Well, taking us into part 2, we've solved the Golden Boot. We've got social media, Waggers Game Day, and much more from these guys in part 2. Keep it locked, keep it here, right here, Rugby AM.